And we're live at Curry Field this afternoon. Dave Thomas and team president Gary Brotzel joining the show now. Gents, it's a good day for baseball, isn't it? And it's going to be a special night for baseball in Regina and all across the province.
You get to take.
Oh, I got. You want me to take the lead? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, number one, the weather's fantastic. I don't know where all this smoke is they're talking about. I mean, the sun's shining here at Curry. Maybe it's the biosphere we're in, but beautiful night for ball. And yes, we're honored to partner with the Good Indian Head and the museum there. Robin Jensen's just been fantastic to work with, and is just loaded with knowledge. I've learned more in the last month than I ever knew before about the baseball in the 50s and all the barnstorming and everything that was going on. It's a neat story.
How did this come about? Because you told me kindly enough at the Regina Red Sox dinner this past offseason, you said, you got to watch for this event because it's coming and you're not going to want to miss it. So how did it come to your attention?
Yeah, actually, Robin and the folks at the museum in Indian Head approached us, and as soon as they brought the idea, I said, yeah, we got to do this because I'm going to say about maybe 10 years ago, I was having a conversation with the late, great Gord Curry. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about coaching the junior Red Sox, going to Indian Head, playing the Indian Head Rockets. I think it was in that 51, 52 era, playing this great, unbelievable, talented team of black athletes, mostly from the States. And he described in great detail how these Red Sox players, mostly 19, were playing these near semi-pro athletes, and they lost 1-0. He described how they got no hit.
Oh, geez.
But he said they did get a walk and stole second and did get a runner to second. But he said the pitching was fantastic. And he actually even alluded to the fact that somewhere in that era, I don't know if it was at Indian Head or somewhere else, that he was positive they played Satchel Paige or faced them.
Wow.
Like, I haven't been able to verify that, but I'm just taking Gord for his word. Like, it probably wasn't advertised. Maybe a team was changing uniforms and slipping them in to try to win $1,000 at a sports day. But yeah, I guess the ball was fantastic.
It was funny. I was talking with Rye earlier, and we were talking about, recruiting players to the Regina Red Sox. Go back to 1952, and you're talking to a bunch of guys from California and Florida, and you're saying, come to Indian Head, Saskatchewan. We've got something for you. Could you imagine those conversations?
Yeah, I'd be crazy. Like, I know Willie and Nate, I was on a Zoom call with them, and they were actually playing at Cerritos College, which is just north of San Fran. Okay. We've actually had players from that school, California JUCO, and yeah, I think 5 of them came up and played with Medicine Hat in 50, and then were recruited to come over to Indian Head in 51, and I think he said there was 5 of them hopped in a car, came up to Canada, and they were looking for a pathway to the major leagues because they weren't getting the opportunities in the States. So,
the Indian Head Museum has done a terrific job of documenting the story of the Indian Head Rockets. And so I was researching, trying to find out more, and as I learned more, it kept piling on, the depth of the story. And I was relaying it to my kids between TikTok videos.
Right.
And they couldn't imagine a time where African Americans would have to come and play in Canada because they couldn't play back at home.
Right.
That was their takeaway. They couldn't believe that something like this had happened such a short time ago.
Right.
What do you take away? What do you hope fans and maybe even the athletes take away from this experience?
Well, I know you're going to have Nate on later, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets very emotional when he gets on here, because when we did our Zoom call, in his own words, he says, I can't believe you guys would want us back after 75 years. He's been back in 2023. Nate was inducted into the South Baseball Hall of Fame. Willie has not been back since 51, and they're bringing some family with them. And, yeah, it's neat. Just a great story. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to Nate on here later, because the hour we had with that Zoom call, I was just like glued to my laptop. Like, I was so enthralled and just kind of was hanging on every word. He's such a great, both of them, just great gentlemen. And and so appreciative of the fact that they got to come here. And I'm sure I'll talk about it, how he was treated in Indian Head, just like everybody else in town. He could go, believe it or not. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but he could go to the restaurants. He could do this. He could jump on the bus. He could, come to Regina, and everybody treated him very well, he said.
You talked about the history of the Regina Red Sox and how deeply rooted it is in Saskatchewan baseball history. This Indian Head Rockets portion of it is another piece of that history, but doesn't it speak a lot to the quality of baseball that we've had in our backyard for an awful long time?
Very long time, and I don't think, well, certainly the younger people have no idea, but I mean, probably people my age or older would appreciate the fact that, you go to Indian Head or some of these tournaments and there'd be 1,000, 1,200 people there lining the park. And I guess back then there wasn't social media, there wasn't cell phones. I mean, you're looking, there wasn't much to do. So you watch baseball on Saturday, Sunday.
Gary, the Cactus City River Rats, probably the most unique name in the WCBL. Just the quality of the league over these past years, is it as good, or is it the best it's ever been, not only from a league standpoint, but from a talent standpoint as well?
Oh, talent-wise, from 2005 when we started, we were allowed 6 American imports to now. I'd say even 5 years ago, the talent level's through the roof. I mean, I think we have a dozen or 15 Division I players on our roster. This year we have actually 5 coming from LSUS Shreveport Pilots that won the NAI World Series 59-0. So we got one here now, 4 on their way, 4 pitchers on their way off that team. Hopefully they'll all be here by the weekend. So, I mean, in years past, we would never have that kind of depth in our pitching staff. And, I mean, defensively, there's just no holes in our lineup. And that goes right across the league. It wasn't long ago our league attendance was, 200, 250 league-wide. I think we're at 475 last year. And if Edmonton can get their new park online, that'll be over 5, and then probably by the end of 2026, full stadium there, we'd be looking at 600,000 plus league-wide. So, probably gone up 300% in just 3 or 4 years.
Now, it's very obvious that I've only been a Reginan for a very short amount of time, but in the year plus that I've been here, you got to take your hat off to this organization. I know you're the president and probably very humble, but the volunteerism. You've had someone cooking in the kitchen since I arrived a couple hours ago, and I don't know what it is, but it smells amazing. The guys that are out on the field and the time that they give back to minor ball in the community. I was walking by the diamonds in our neighborhood, and you see the young kids with the Red Sox shirts or whatever hanging around. Like, this is community. You should take some well-deserved praise for what the entire organization has been able to do.
Well, thank you. A lot of that goes to our head coach. He's very big on, team unity, team spirit, respecting the community. It's been something that's kind of been in our code of conduct for at least 10 years. And, it's something we want. It's actually right in the player's playing contract, spelled right out in what the expectations are when you become a Red Sox, and so far everybody's bought in.
Want to talk about this game tonight? 6-3 on the season, a game and a half out of first place. Medicine Hat, Saskatoon last night up in Saskatoon. We're talking about, the top 2 teams in the East Division are here playing tonight. I'd assume you may have something to say to that.
Well, we haven't played. We're behind everybody a couple games. Our schedule's been a little lax, and then of course, we got smoked out last night. Swift Current didn't play, but our schedule's going to get a lot heavier here. So if we start getting on a bit of a roll, we'll be eating up ground pretty quick in the standings, I suspect.
Maz, you talked about how you played. Gary, what did you play? I look out here, and this is my favorite time of a ball game, when they're taking infield, right? I love that little portion right before you get out on the field. I played first base, so quite often I was down the right field line checking out to see if they'd mowed the grass appropriately because I didn't make a play.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Well, believe it or not, I'd never played an inning of baseball.
No way.
I was a competitive fastball pitcher.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
and for your Saskatoon fans, I actually played for Saskatoon Rempel Brothers one year at the National
Nice.
Senior A Championship. So, yeah, my roots from QPAR, and we had a fantastic,
Oh, yeah.
fantastic ball teams back then. We went to the Canada Summer Games, represented Saskatchewan, went to nationals 3 or 4 times, and yeah, I threw the ball underhand.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
never hit that either. My kid did the same thing to me.
Well, that
Gary, I'd have
baseball
to say I was
kind of died out for a while. Fastball was huge.
Yeah.
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 So
I know for me, I grew up playing fastball, and it's funny, Saskatoon ABC, or no, it was Calgary ABC, Alberta Breaking Clutch, always against the Rempel brothers and Eugene McWillie. But as a kid growing up, and I don't know what it was. I don't know how I ended up on some of these teams, because but we could never beat Creighton. Our team inside, I don't know what they were doing in Creighton with the water or the food, but those kids could throw. Even the worst pitcher was better than our best pitcher, and those farm kids, we didn't stand a chance. Saskatoon Holiday Park, we just not good for us. Always good for them.
I played. It was Flin Flon. That was the Geringer brothers.
Oh,
so Kevin Geringer from Humboldt Broncos.
Yeah.
They were, him and his brother played, and they actually ended up playing a little bit with Rempel brothers. So yeah, that's the exact world I lived in. I remember facing McWillie the first time when I was 19 or 20 at Gordie Howe, and usually he wouldn't let me hit when I was pitching, but I was, and I waved at 3, never came close to any of them, and I was walking away, and the umpire stopped, and he goes, "Brotzel." They turn around, he goes, "What?" So that was the worst at bat I've ever seen, and I really didn't care. I was happy I didn't get plunked, and I was happy just to get back to the dugout and then take the field and pitch, but he made a lot of people look stupid.
I love that. First pitch tonight, of course, is 7:00. Come on out to the ballpark. There's always a ticket. I know that they're going to be going quick tonight, but we got to walk right in.
See Swift Currents just showing up, and the beer trucks here just pulled up, so there'll be no shortage of beer tonight. It will be cold.
We need to take a break.
Listen.